Thank you, Madam Chairman, and thank you, Mr. Secretary, for being here, and to our Deputy Secretary, thank you for being here as well. Before I begin, I want to note that we are getting some really positive feedback from my stakeholders at the state level in Mississippi regarding FEMA's recent progress, particularly that funding is moving more efficiently and responsiveness appears to be improving, and we're very grateful for that. We appreciate that work. And with that in mind, I want to talk about several issues that's affecting our state now. States like Mississippi closely monitor FEMA's public assistance disaster declaration thresholds. You know, we have a lot of hurricanes, we have a lot of tornadoes there, and it's just been considerable discussion regarding potential changes to these thresholds and what they mean for states' ability to qualify for this assistance. Will you provide clarity on whether FEMA is planning to adjust individual states' disaster thresholds for public assistance major declarations? With those changes, what those changes may look like and what the timeline states should expect for implementation. Can you comment on those?
Yes, there was quite a backlog of the public assistance dollars that needed to be put out since we've been in office. The president has just signed off on 15 last Friday. Before that, there was 22. So total, we have 37 now that have been out the door in 8 weeks. We're constantly looking at it. What we've seen, because the public assistance is supposed to be somewhat of a match, 75% of the match, what we've seen is a lot of states inflate those numbers. And when we go through and we start looking at the reimbursement, in fact, I haven't seen one that actually everything they're claiming has qualified. Once we go through it and we check it off, for instance, Friday when we went to the president and laid it out in front of him, and we showed him what they were asking, where we came up with the number, what we denied, and what we approved, he signed off on 100% of them. But we are looking at a way to reform it. FEMA it was never set up to be the complete all. It was supposed to be there to assist, not to be the final solution, assist the state or the community in its bad day when they met certain qualifications. But the state and local communities are the first responders. Ever since really Katrina, we've seen that shift, and more dollars have went in. We see a lot of wasteful dollars going in. We know that states can do it much quicker and much faster and much cheaper than we can as the federal government. I'll just use this one example. This is some reforms we're looking at. In order for FEMA to pay for a haul-off, it has to be hauled from the person's property, dumped out of whatever it's hauled into onto the street, and then the FEMA, or beside the street, then the FEMA approved contractor has to go in and separate the waste, because each different products get paid different and they have to go to different sorting facilities, and then we have to go out and then dump it. And so most of this stuff is getting touched 2 and 3 times. From a construction background, that's a waste of time and a waste of money, and it costs way more to do it. So for us to look at grant systems for the state and allow them to be responsible for it when they hit certain thresholds is something that we are looking for public assistance, and that we think the dollar will go farther. The president has made it very clear that he wants to put the dollar closer to the resource, and from Washington, D.C. to wherever it happens in Mississippi or in Oklahoma, it's a long ways away, and that dollar gets added to usually anywhere from 100 to 200% before it actually gets to the resource.
Yeah, just reasonable solutions. Sounds great. But while we're on the topic of public assistance, Mississippi recently submitted requests for both public assistance and individual assistance following the tornadoes on May the 6th and the 7th, very close to where I live, and we're still waiting for a determination. So can you tell me the status of those requests, and will you commit to working with our office to ensure we receive timely response so disaster-affected communities can start rebuilding and get back to as normal as possibly that we can?
My understanding, and Troy, if you have an update on this, let me know, but my understanding is that we're still working with the state to do the final assessment. We know the declaration has been made by the governor. We know the president did accept that declaration, but now we're looking at what the cost is for our funding to actually reimburse for public assistance. Troy, do you have something to add to that?
Yeah, so, yeah, we did get that. It was approved by the president. We do go through the process to be able to make sure the validation of all the costs. As you know, the public assistant grants are pretty formulaic. You know, you kind of submit through, so no big surprises. Like the secretary said, we have 13 open right now that need to go all the way through to get passed through. If you like, I'll take an action to get with your office after this.
Thank you. That would be great, because I toured just about all that devastation, and it truly was devastation. Thank you, Madam Chairman.